Hi there, welcome to Curiosity Lab on the Go. I'm Miss Julie from the Byron Township branch of Kent District Library.
And I am Miss Holly from the East Grand Rapids branch. We are here at the Calvin Ecosystem Preserve. And this is like 100-acre wood, kind of like Winnie the Pooh, but it's not, it's Calvin College. And they have 100 acres are here, but 60 acres are for education of natural areas, and the other 40 acres we get to explore today.
Awesome.
Are you excited?
I'm excited. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. So here we are at the Dune Demonstration Garden. Miss Holly, how on earth did a sand dune get here just off the East Beltline?
Right, it is kind of curious. So normally they occur in nature, but here Calvin College students brought this in to observe what happens to the ecosystem in a dune environment. So they have set up wind gauges because naturally dune sand is formed by wind action. This has been here and put on a hill. So they're trying to demonstrate how the wind affects this place and the plants that are growing in the garden.
Oh, and I see some plants here. It looks these look kind of like a weed, don't they?
So that is actually not a reed, that is horse mint. And horse mint likes the drainage that soil, like these soils have, you know, like clay.
That makes sense.
Doesn't allow drainage of water.
Water can drain away from
Water is going to absorb in here and it's going to filter really easily. So these are plants that really like that environment. Horse mint actually will grow pretty tall, usually has a purple flower. And then we have,
this
yep,
one here.
that one's wormweed. Well, no, sorry, wormwood. And kind of reminds me of a carrot top or a fern.
It sure does.
Yeah, we got some dune grass growing, and there's supposed to be some cactus, some prickly pear cactus, but I don't see it.
Might be too early in the season. Maybe they'll be here this summer when our friends come to visit.
Exactly. And I do love that you can see the ripples of the sand, so you can kind of see the motion of the wind and how it's affecting the sand. And you can also see some bird tracks. Someone has been here.
All right, should we go keep moving?
Let's keep moving.
All right, let's go. So Miss Holly, as we were kind of walking into the woods here, I see a lot of these trees and short trees that appear to be European buckthorn. What are they doing here in Michigan?
So yeah, so these actually came over from England, and they're an invasive species. They're not born and raised in Michigan. So they tend to crowd out native trees such as maples and oaks and beech trees that we all love and adore. These spread really easy, and they're just, you know, not pretty. I call it like a scrub tree.
Yeah, well, and these invasive species too, the animals and the birds need the native species for shelter, for food, for things like that. So it's important that we keep the native species or the invasive species down, and Calvin's working hard at doing that.
Yeah, they are working really hard at, you know, trying to crowd out or not, to not promote the buckthorn. They also do a lot with native plants. So native plants, they don't need a lot of water, so we don't need it. So they're really good for you know, conserving our waters, and they don't need a lot of fertilization. They really like our environment.
And it also looks like Calvin has it set up here that the native species will eventually crowd out the invasive species. So they have a really great program here that you can learn lots about.
Yeah, and one thing I learned today, Queen Anne's lace is not native to Michigan. It's one of my favorite wild plants, and I did not know. So
I didn't either.
Now I can't like it anymore.
Aww. Just from afar.
Just from afar.
Let's keep going.
Let's keep going.
So Miss Holly, we're here at stop 6. I see a post right there. And this says clones. Clones?
Okay, cloning is so exciting. Okay, especially when you're talking about beech trees. Okay. So beech trees are one of my favorite trees, and they are native to Michigan. And if you see way back in the forest, you'll see an arrow pointing at an old stump. That was the parent, you guys. That was the parent tree that is no longer here. But what happens is new life can form from the death of a tree. And that is what you see here. We see all this new growth and these beautiful new beech trees that have formed from the parent root.
Wow, so from the death of a tree comes all these kids, all these little trees.
And you can do that with, like, if you have succulents at home, you can cut them or put a leaf on the soil, and new life will form from that leaf, and the old leaf will die away.
That's amazing. So cloning cloning's not such a scary thing then.
It's not scary.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing that, Miss Holly.
Yeah.
Should we keep going?
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, Miss Holly, it is so beautiful here.
Gorgeous. You know, you want to make sure you stay on the trail though, Miss Julie. Don't go off the trail. That's
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, in my bag here, I have a little trash bag. Because when we go out into nature, if we see someone's left trash behind, we pick it up.
You pick it up.
So we want to make sure we don't leave anything behind.
Right. Only footsteps.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And definitely don't carve your name into trees.
No. You don't want to hurt the poor trees.
And no dogs, no biking, no scootering. Sorry, just walking. Oh, can I touch this tree?
Oh, absolutely, Miss Holly. You can touch that. In fact, feeling the bark and looking at the bark is a great way to identify a tree. You can identify them by their leaves, but also by their bark. This scaly black bark is a black cherry tree. And this smooth one over here is the beech tree. Now, you see someone carved their initials in it. Looks like a long time ago. We don't want to hurt the tree like that, but you can certainly touch it. You won't hurt it a bit if you're touching the tree. So we've got the beech and the black cherry. And what's the one over there, Miss Holly?
This one is the red oak, it must be.
And that bark is completely different too.
Yeah, it has some smooth pieces and some rough pieces. I really like it. And it's really, really tall.
It's really, really tall. You know what else this is a great spot for? If you just close your eyes and listen, how many birds can you hear? How many different bird calls can you hear?
2, 3, 4.
That is such a fun thing to do here. There are so many different animals. Did you know that there's even apps on your phone that can identify bird calls or identify birds by their features?
Oh, I love that. Birds are so
Okay, should we see what else there is to see?
Let's do it.
So Miss Holly, I'm staying on the path because this is what we have to do. In fact, we see some poison ivy here, don't we? So it's even more important to stay on the path. But I'm looking through the woods here and I see this pool of water there. And I think that's called a vernal pool. Can you tell our friends what a vernal pool is?
It is a vernal pool. So you're probably used to knowing about wetlands and ponds and lakes. Well, a vernal pool is actually like a temporary pond. So it is formed by spring waters and runoff, snow melting and stuff like that. And it forms in depressions in the land. And now, why is that important? Because there's certain amphibians that rely on it, like the salamander and the spring peeper frogs, which love to hatch their eggs in the water, and then they're born, and then when they have feet, they need the land. So the vernal pools actually dry up a little bit later in the summer.
So when the frogs need the water for their tadpoles, it's water. And when they need land, because the tadpoles now have legs, it dries up and gives them land.
It gives them land.
The earth gives them exactly what they need.
Exactly what they need. And they tend to be found in woodland areas and woodland settings. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
So by midsummer, the pond, the vernal pool we're looking at now might be dried up.
It might be dried up if you're visiting in the later summer.
So instead of full of tadpoles, it might be full of frogs.
You never know.
You could listen. You could listen.
You could listen. Listen for, what does a frog say? Croak, 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 croak.
Should we keep going?
Better.
All right, let's move on.
Ooh, I think I see a chickadee.
Oh, I'm looking for an oriole.
Oh,
I already spotted a red-winged blackbird.
All right. I see a cardinal.
Where?
Right this way.
Oh, wait, no. It's Big Bird. Big Bird, hi! Big Bird. Okay, so Miss Holly, we are here at North Pond. And this pond, like most of the ponds on the preserve, were formed by giant chunks of glacial ice that were underground. And when they melted, the ponds were left behind. Now this pond at one point was 30 to 40 feet deep. But over the years, debris and sand and silt and dirt and things have filled it in. And so it's now only about 6 feet deep.
Why is there so many dead trees around the edges?
There are. And the interesting thing about that is that because over time, the pond has actually grown. In fact, this overlook we're standing on right now that has water underneath it, when it was built, the posts were on dry land.
Oh my goodness, that is so wild. Okay, those are children screaming, not wild animals.
We're not the only ones who are enjoying the nature preserve today.
Right, and look at the geese, and they have, I thought I saw babies, but maybe not. Lots of geese to look at too. This is a great overlook to look at wildlife.
There are, and some of these ponds are great places to spot not only birds, but also turtles.
Yes, oh, I know of a turtle pond that's down the trail here a little bit. Should we go?
Let's go see it.
Let's go look.
So Miss Holly, we're here at Whiskey Pond. What can you tell us about it?
So this is a pond that is, just kind of a great sunny spot to look for turtles, look for ducks. Last time we were here, there was a lot of turtles sunbathing on a log. I don't see them right now, but that's okay. It's also a lot of duckweed, as you can see. Trust me, this isn't grass. You can't walk on it. You will sink, all right? It is a weed that grows at the surface, and ducks love it. That's why it's called duckweed.
They do.
So yeah, this has been really fun, Julie.
Thanks so much for joining me today. This was such a blast, and I learned so much about the Calvin Eco Preserve.
Yes.
Did you know that at KDL we have lots of different books that you could check out about plants and animals and trees?
Birds, mammals.
Absolutely, and there's even outdoor activity books that you can find. And did you know something? This pair of binoculars comes out of a bird watching kit that you can check out. It has books on birds and binoculars that you can check out from the library and bring it with you.
You can place a hold on that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on Curiosity Lab on the Go.
Curiosity Lab on the Go. Check out kdl.org for other events. And in the meantime, I don't know, I think I'm going to sit down here, enjoy this view, and do a little reading.
Sounds good to me.
Yay!
Bye.